Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I want to talk about the Infinity Lockbox, specifically some issues that it has that have just been continuing to develop over the past couple years, and ways that Cryptic can resolve those issues. So this is not an anti-lockbox video, this is feedback that I have from opening a ton of Infinity Lockboxes over the years, and seeing the issues that surround the various mechanics of the lockboxes and ways that Cryptic could resolve those issues to increase player satisfaction when they open lockboxes, to make people have an easier time with some of the systems, and to make people feel like they got their money's worth when they get some of these secondary prizes. So the first issue here is the fact that every last choice pack you get from the Infinity Lockbox is bound to character. This means that if you get a choice pack, you have to go out and do some research to find which item is the most valuable so you can pick that and then sell it. Now, when the Infinity Lockbox first came out, all the way back in 2016, there were nowhere near as many lockboxes in there as there are now. A lot of things have been added to the Infinity Lockbox since 2016, and if I pull open a T6 ship list here, you can see all of these ships as I scroll down that have been added since the Infinity Lockbox first came out. For reference, if I go to the bottom of the list here, not all of these are in the order that they were added, but the Infinity Lockbox was released just before the Kelvin timeline starships were first put into the game. And basically every single ship that you see above the Kelvin timeline in this list came out after that Kelvin lockbox. So there's been pretty much a majority of the options in the Infinity Lockbox were released after it initially had launched, which of course makes sense, being it came out 6 years ago. What the issue is with this, though, is that when we have so many options from these choice packs, it means that the very limited supply you have with some of these packs, like the T6 ship packs, that supply is heavily divided, and people are going to focus on the few items, the few ships that sell really well. What this means is that there is very limited supply for some ships, and as the person that is selling that Infinity T6 ship box, it means that there is quite a bit of a tedious process for you to go through and look through the 50 or so ships in the T6 pack to see which has the highest value for you to sell. You know, when you get one of these packs in the game, you have to go through and look at every last option here if you want to maximize your EC gains to figure out, you know, what is going to be the most valuable. And you can see as I scroll through this list, there are quite a few options. And the same thing applies to space trait boxes, bridge officer training manuals. Like all of these boxes, you have to find the thing that is the most valuable if you're trying to sell it for EC so that you can maximize your EC gain. And if you're not familiar with the metas and what is, you know, the most popular, then it's going to be a fairly frustrating experience because, you know, there are a lot of options in these choice packs. Like with these trait packs here, I think it's like 60 to 70 options in here. So there's a ton of options, and because you can't just go out and sell, you know, the choice pack, the trait packs themselves, they're all bound to character. You have to pick an item in order to sell it to get your EC. And that could be much easier if they just let us sell the choice packs. If they weren't bound to character, if they were unbound and you could just sell them, it would be a much more pleasant experience for people that are wanting to sell the items they got from their lockbox. And this issue is only going to continue to get worse over time. And another issue that I have noted here is that if we go back to the trait packs, there are some traits that they have released over the years that are profession specific. And that means that if you open the lockbox on a tactical character, you can't get those traits that are exclusive to engineers or science players. So, with most players in the game playing on tacticals, that means that if there's people not opening these boxes on, engineers or science captains, then those traits are going to have less supply. If Cryptic allowed the trait boxes, to be posted directly to the exchange, then the engineer or science player can buy that trait box and get the profession specific trait that they're after. So again, the solution is for Cryptic that just make it so that we can trade or sell the choice packs directly. These packs are already obtained by players, and all you're doing by allowing us to sell the packs directly is taking some of the frustration out of the experience, because you want us to open more of these lockboxes. So you should make it as easy as possible for people that open these boxes to go out and sell the items that they don't want. Issue number 2 is kit modules. So the current implementation of kit modules basically has 4 different options in the choice pack, but each of those 4 options is a random roll from that category. The issue with this is that if we look at the kit modules on the wiki here, for the profession specific ones, there's not a ton here, but when we look at universal, I think it's almost 50 items currently in there. And as soon as they add another lockbox to this, it will pass that 50 mark. What that means is that if you are trying to get a specific universal kit module, you've got almost a 1 in 50 chance to get that specific kit module, because the way this currently works is it's a random roll. This is quite frustrating, and as somebody that has been trying to open some of the weapon packs that I have, you end up getting a lot of garbage kit modules that just aren't that good, and it can be a very frustrating experience to try and get a specific kit module. And for me, I've got several thousand of these kit module boxes lying around, and it's frustrating to try and open them in the current state because it's a random roll for each one I open. It's a gamble within a gamble. It's really not fun. It's not engaging. It just spams my inventory full of unwanted items. And trying to sell those items on the exchange is a frustrating experience in of itself because they're worth so little. I think that given that each of these kit module boxes is going to cost you, a key to obtain, because it is a filler item in the lockbox, you're spending basically $1 per kit module choice pack you get. You should have the option to pick the specific kit module you want. So the solution here is that they add in another set of choice packs into each of the kit module selections that are shown here, so that if I want to open my kit module boxes, I can pick a choice pack here for the universal kit module, and then I can pick the specific kit module I want rather than having that gamble. Because like I said, I literally have thousands of these boxes lying around, and I don't open them because it's such a frustrating experience as is. So if they made it so you could pick the specific kit module you want, it would be a huge quality of life improvement and would very much increase the satisfaction for people opening lockboxes, given that they have more choice over what they're getting, which is part of the point of the Infinity Lockbox. Issue number 3 is that we need more choice packs. So when the Infinity Lockbox first came out over 6 years ago, there were nowhere near as many Doff packs in it. But it has been 6 years, and we now have over 20 duty officer packs in the Infinity Lockbox. I think that it's time for them to move all of these duty officer packs into a choice pack so that you can choose the specific Doff pack that you want. I think you could say the same for kit frames, and I know that there are some of you that would say the same for bonus pools. But it's important to keep in mind with the Infinity Lockbox that they don't have all the bonus pools in there. In fact, there's only 6 of them in total, so I don't think they would add in a choice pack for 6 bonus pools. I would like to see them add in the CXP bonus pools at least, though, as an option to Infinity. Issue number 4 is opening choice and weapon packs. The experience of actually opening the choice packs you get is rather frustrating. And especially if you're trying to open weapon packs, it is a massive pain. So it does not remember what you chose when you opened your last pack. So let me pop open Tribble here. If I want to go and open, like a weapon pack here, I have to click on the weapon choice pack. I have to find the weapon type, or the weapon pack that I'm wanting to open. So let's say I want to open the bowl. Well, I then have to click the bowl, and when I go to open another weapon pack, it doesn't remember what I'd selected. So I have to scroll through the list and find what I want to open again and hit accept. If the thing you're trying to get is at the top, it's not as big of an issue. But let's say I was wanting to get like Herald, Anti-Proton, or even better, Terran Empire Agony phaser weapons. If I want to get a ton of these Agony weapon packs, well, I have to scroll down in the list every last time and find the Agony selection. Now, if you're opening just a handful of weapon packs at a time, or a handful of any of these choice packs at a time, that's not a big issue. But if you're trying to open dozens or, entire stacks of these things, it really gets quite tedious. Every time I go and open these, I have to go and find that selection, and then click that and open it. Now, to make this worse is when I actually get the weapon packs, it's a very similar experience of I then have to click in to find the specific type of weapon I want from that pack, and I have to do that each time. It doesn't remember my selection. And then once I've went through all those steps, I could finally open the weapon packs. Now, if I was trying to open like trait packs here, and I'm wanting a trait that's way down on the list, like I want to pick up a couple of good day to die traits to sell, I have to scroll through this entire list to find what I'm trying to get. Same applies to any of these other choice packs, the console packs, the bridge officer training manual ones are really bad also, because if you want to say get some chemosite manuals to sell, you have to go through here, go and scroll down, and for each chemosite you would want to sell, you gotta scroll down the list and select it. So it's a massive pain, and it's not a fun experience for people that are trying to open, a very large quantity of these lockboxes, of which quite a few people do. So it's a really tedious process, and you would think that they would want to make the lockbox opening experience not be frustrating, but the current implementation of it is. There was a time when the choice packs did remember what you had picked, so you could line up the button to like click the pack and then accept, and it would remember what you had last selected. It does not do that anymore. So it is quite tedious, and a solution for that is to let us go in and have some way in the UI to select open all as X option, and then make us type in the name of that selection to confirm it. That way, if I have a stack of 20 bridge officer training manuals here, I could just right click and say open all as, and then type in the name of the selection to confirm it. That would be a much easier process and would make it much less frustrating for me to open these boxes compared to how it currently is. And you have to keep in mind that even though some of these secondary boxes like kit modules, weapon packs, the bridge officer training manuals, even though those are secondary items, you have to keep in mind that every last pack costs you $1 to get. Of course, you get the Lobby alongside it, but each of those packs still represents $1 put into the game. So if I have a stack of 20 bridge officer training manuals that I'm trying to open, that represents $20 worth of lockboxes that I opened, basically. So the experience should not be as frustrating as it is. In addition, giving us a filter to search through the trait list would be really handy. Like if I could just have a filter to type in the name, a search bar here, it would be a huge quality of life improvement. And that alone would make this a much better experience for me, at least, to just even have a search bar up here so I can just search for a trait by name. Issue number 5 is stack limits. So back in early 2020, they went through and increased the stack limit for the T6 ship box here, but they didn't increase the stack limit on any of the other boxes. So this character here is my Tribble character, and like when I look at the bank here, this is the results from me doing that big 12K opening a year or so back. But you can see all of this stuff is, just stacks of 20. I don't see why these choice packs, if they increase the stack limit on the T6 box, why couldn't they have increased the stack limit on, some of these other boxes? Now, I had brought this up on a 10 forward not long after that patch had dropped, which was February of 2020. And the response I got was, why don't I open the boxes? And if I'm not going to open them, why don't I just, delete them if I don't want them? I do want all the boxes that I got, like all these kit module boxes. I don't want to delete those because every last one of those I have represents $1 worth of lock boxes. And I have a lot of them. I showed some pictures on Twitter, going through just a couple of my characters on the live server. This ended up being over 5,500 worth. I'm not going to delete the results of me getting or me opening like $5,000 worth of lockboxes just because it's taking up too much inventory space. That's back to the previous issue I talked about where it's frustrating to open some of these choice packs because it doesn't remember the choice you had. And with the kit module specifically, it doesn't let you actually choose what you want from the pack. So I'm saving those till I can hopefully do so. So increasing the stack limit would help those of us that open these lockboxes in a large quantity. And they've already went through and increased the stack limit on the T6 ship boxes. I'm not opening lockboxes anymore on some of these characters because I've already got so much in my inventory. So if Cryptic were to like let me compress this down into fewer spaces in my inventory, I'd probably open more on some of these characters that I have. And in conclusion, the solutions presented here are changes that I believe Cryptic could make to improve the overall experience of, putting money into the game to open Infinity Lockboxes. A lot of these things are quite tedious, and given that the Infinity Lockboxes are meant to be a way to get players to put quite a bit of money into the game, you would think that the experience would not be as frustrating as it is. I do also believe that these changes would give us players more control over a lot of like the secondary prizes we get, which would reduce the frustration that, the current implementation has. Like with those kit modules, like I was talking about, like it is absolutely frustrating. If I want to go and open some kit module boxes to try and get like the Baal Obelisk or Agony Field Generators, look at all this other junk that I have right in my inventory that I have no use for this stuff. And each one of these represents $1 worth of lockboxes opened, basically. Like, this is a lot of the investment that I feel is wasted, and it leaves me discouraged. It makes me not want to open more of these boxes because I know I'm going to just end up being frustrated opening these kit module boxes because they're so random, and the point of the Infinity Lockbox is to give us control over what we're getting from the lockboxes. So I also think that this would have some added benefits. If people know that they have more control over the secondary rewards, like the kit modules, the trades, if they know they can just sell the choice packs, I think that that would encourage more people to engage with the system. I think that there are some people that will go out and open Infinity Lockboxes trying to get one specific thing, and then they end up with a bunch of secondary stuff in their inventory that they don't really know what to do with. And if they go and try to find something to sell on the exchange, as I talked about before, with all of the different options that the Infinity Lockbox has now, you know, when we talk about the kit modules, the trait boxes, like the amount of options in there now is just ridiculous. So giving people the ability, like, look at this trait box. This is just the space trait box. Look at all these options. Like, someone that's just spent, you know, a ton of money in the game opening lockboxes has to go and look through this entire list to find the thing that is worth the most to sell. And, you know, that's just not a fun experience. So I think letting us sell the choice packs directly would help the in-game economy. It's going to reduce the frustration people have opening these packs. And I think overall it's just a win-win for everyone. It's going to get Cryptic more money because people are going to be feeling more satisfied with the items that they get from the Infinity Lockbox. And I think it's a win for players because things become a little bit more accessible on the in-game market, and they know that they have a lot more control over the prizes that they got. They can just sell the choice pack if they don't know what the hell to do with it. But that's really going to be it for my video. I don't know if anyone from Cryptic is going to see this. Hopefully, hopefully someone there can at least react and do something about some of these issues, at least the UI stuff. But I do think that these issues and the suggestions I have for them, if they followed through on even a couple of these, would be an improvement and would be a bit more incentive to encourage people to invest in the Infinity Lockbox. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave them below, but that is going to be it for this video today. Thank you again to everyone that's stuck around to watch. If you have anything else that you'd like to add, put it in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.